Hey gang, George here. I'm happy to announce the Super-Plex Mark II 50 watt. It took a long time for me to stamp my seal of approval and Metropoulos faceplate on a 50 watt amplifier, at least as a new design, because I'm such a hopeless, die-hard 100 watt Plexi guy. And there's something about a 100 watt Plexi and something in the note attack and the percussive low end, even in the early Plexis, that indelibly tied to the way I play guitar and what I expect to feel under my fingertips. And it was a process for me to get here. There were several prototypes and attempts over the years, and finally, I'm happy to say, Metropoulos 50 watt Super-Plex Mark II. It's still based on my original 45100, and it still has all the same DNA as the 100 watt Super-Plex Mark II, but it is condensed into a form factor that is smaller than a small box Plexi. It's 22 inches long, 9 inches tall, and 8 inches deep. And that's not by accident or happenstance. That's because your carry-on when you get onto a flight, maximum length is 22 inches, height is 14, and depth is 9 inches. So this is an uncompromising early Plexi tone amplifier that you can stow in an overhead on a flight, take it to your gig, and want for nothing. It's got the 50 watt Super-Plex Mark II, weighs under 35 pounds, and has 3 output level settings. So the power settings, although it's a 50 watt head, it has full power, which is 50 watts, half power at 25 watts, and low power at about 5 watts. So just like the 100 watt Super-Plex Mark II, you have 2 modes on this amp. The first mode, which now has LED indication, is the blue mode, and this is the stock recreation of the old 45100. So it's got that gain level and that amount of saturation, and it also has my favorite Plexi clean tones and edge of breakup tones. So this is the blue mode, the stock 45100 mode on the 50 watt. So just like the big brother of this amp, the stock mode is the big organic, overdriven early Plexi tones. There's a lot of low end and it's very round. I've got the bass now at 5. A lot of players are gonna have that at maybe not 0, but it's gonna be low. You almost have to adjust your playing technique to account for how much low end there is in this mode. So here the gain on the blue mode is dime. So that's where it tops out with a humbucker equipped Les Paul. It's basically AC/DC. If you roll the gain back, I like it about 4 on this mode to get into those, my favorite Plexi cleans. So. Just like on the 100 watt version, the second mode, which in this case now is going to be the red mode, picks up where the stock mode leaves off and gets hotter and dirtier. So I've got the gain back on 10, and this is the red mode. Everything you love about the stock mode, just more of it. And of course, if you roll it back, it's still the same, less, but still you don't lose any sustain. All of those edge of breakup tones are right there. So this is about 6. Common to both, just like on the 100 watt, is the Plexi / Tweed switch. And so in Plexi mode, it's just the tone stack from the original 45-100. And if you go to Tweed mode, it's adding a little mid-range focus and a little honk right at the sort of nasally frequency. And this is just to emulate the tones in my favorite Tweed Fender amps, like 59 Bassman, of course, the grandfather of all Plexis. So in the blue mode, stock mode, that's Plexi, and this is Tweed. Plexi once again. And Tweed. Yeah, that's good. Something new with the 50 watt version is that with the foot switch, you have a switch for boost, a switch for mode, and a switch for loop, which the loop switch, as you might expect, turns the effects loop on and off. Now I've added an option that you can switch the loop button to control the Tweed switch. So if you never need to turn your loop on and off, there's a switch on the back that you can use to actuate the Tweed on and off. And I'm sure now that this is coming out, everyone with 100 watt is going to want me to update their amp to have the same function. If you do use the loop switch, and you also want to foot switch the Tweed / Plexi switch, you can do that as well with the 1/4-inch TS jack. So all 4 functions are available via foot switch. Also, just like the 100-watt version, the 50-watt Super-Plex Mark II has a built-in high voltage FET boost. In this case, it has its own gain control and master volume. Also has a single EQ control. This on the 100-watt version has two controls, a treble and a bass. On this, it's a single control, just due to the limitations of space on the chassis. And so I took a different approach with this. This single EQ control functions sort of like a mid-cut. It's unique in that if you turn it all the way down, it's very scooped in the mids and smiley facey. It's a lot of lows and a lot of highs. If you turn it all the way up, it's not a mid boost, but it's literally flat response. And when you hear it in context, it sounds like a mid boost because it brings out so much of the mid frequencies. And if it's set flat or set at 5, it's really sort of the Plexi tone stack frequency response that we're also familiar with. The boost now has a purple LED to indicate that it's on. And the boost applies to both modes, red and blue. It's always on in front of the rest of the circuit, just like on the 100-watt. And the gain right now is about 3, and the master is also about 3. So blue mode with no boost, and blue mode with boost. So the EQ is at 5 right now. I'll turn it all the way off. So this is the most scooped or smiley face. No boost. So if you need a maximum scoopy twang, there you have it. Now let's go all the way flat. Again, no boost. And boost with the EQ on 10. Now back to 5. Okay, so that was boost gain about 3. At all the way down on the boost gain is going to be unity. So you're not getting any extra gain, but you got a full control of the master and the EQ. As we bring the boost gain up, it's just going to push the rest of the amp harder and harder. And so now we're, let's see, why don't we just dime it, get on with it. This is boost gain dimed, boost EQ at 5, and blue mode. Endless sustain, and the harmonics never go away. So no matter how far I turn the guitar volume down, the harmonics are always there. Great stuff. So there you have it, Super-Plex Mark II 50-watt Shipping in April 2023. The initial run is going to be priced at $32.95. Something about this amp makes me want to play an A. That's the Super-Plex. Thanks for watching, and I will see you around.